Right, okay, so welcome back to the next episode. Now, what have I been up to? Right, well, there's a temporary stall in track lane. I've got to work on the bridges before I could complete a circuit, so I thought I'd just make a start. So basically what I've done is I've scratch built some girders for either end of the bridge. Now, what's going to go underneath, I think it's probably going to be like a rocky outcrop or something that comes off. Not entirely, but anyway, that's what's happening there. That's those extra bits that I needed to add to the bridge to bridge the gap, if you like, across the estuary. And the white stripes across the top, well, they'll be sprayed up as well shortly into that dark grey colour, and that will represent some sort of ironwork or metal work for the tracks to sit on. So yeah, it took me a little while to put these together, but they're just made out of plastic card. I had a load of plastic card bits and pieces, and I've just basically cut them all out and made some girder plates out of them. So that's that. I've got to work on the other bridge now, the one that was kind of based on the bridge at Barmouth that I built. I've just got to work around the bottom bases. So that's what we're going to do next. Right, so we're on to working onto the Barmouth Bridge now, which is just over here, as you can see, on its back. And what I'm actually doing is, just along these strips here, is putting some of that dressed stone that I've used previously, and I'm just cutting it down to size here. So what you see just there is I'm measuring this out to 6.6, which is just about there, because the long gaps, which are in here, are 6.6, funnily enough. Then just move that ruler out of the way. I'll just get it on the cutting mat here, which is quite handy, just using the markings on there. So I'll just use that there like that. So we've got two marks so we can see where we're cutting. And I'll bring in the old chopper, who misses, and all I do is get that on the mark, the two marks just there, just a bit further, probably a bit more than that, just there. That's it. And we just snip that down, and that's done. So that should now fit into there, and it does beautifully. So what I'm going to do is use the same painting technique. Oh, I don't suppose you can see that, but yeah, if it fits in just perfectly along there. Well, that's a little bit ski width, but yeah, that's where we're at. So we're going to use the same painting technique as I did on the dressed stone for some of the retaining walls across the bridge at the back, and varying bits and pieces that I've done. So yeah, that's what I'm doing, and you know, I'm on the fourth pier now. It's going to take me another hour probably to cut these out, and then I'll start painting them. Right, just a final update today. That's them all cut, and the first coat of paint has been applied. The same technique as last time. It's like a mortar colour, and then you dry brush a couple of different shades of grey over them, and I'll be doing that tomorrow because they need 24 hours to be left to dry. So not sure what else I'm going to do this afternoon. I've got a few other things that I can do non-railway related, but I might actually get out in the cabin and just do a little bit more wiring that I needed to do. So we'll see how we go with that. I'm also this time using my new phone to film this rather than my old iPad, which was becoming a little bit unwieldy, especially on close-up shots, and I'm going to edit it through a different software as well this time, so or editing package, and we'll see how that comes out. So if it's a bit raggedy, I apologise, but this is kind of a live experiment, as it were. Okay, so I'll be back in the next segment. Okay, so I'm out in the cabin now, and the next thing on my agenda is to get this. I've put some holes. I've sealed some holes with some filler, and the intention is with this is the preparation ready for what the estuary is going to be like. So first off, if I move this out of the way, I'm going to use this stuff here. It's called Clear Sealer. It's a Rust-Oleum product. Once this is sanded down, I'm going to just basically paint over this. I mean, it's pretty well sealed anyway with the paint, but I'm just going to double up, if you know what I mean. And then, following that, but not today, we are going to paint the riverbed. And I've got these Woodland Scenics paints. Now the first one is Hunter Green, it's called. It's a deep dark sort of greeny blue, which will be the centre part of our estuary here, which is where the boats will come in as such. And as we get to the outside edge, we've got an olive drab and a yellow silt. So they will graduate out to the edges. Now along here, there won't be such a sharp side. We'll get some polystyrene in there, and we'll shape some kind of cliffy banks, if you like, rocky banks, which will work up into a hill right up the back here and so on. But you know, we can work that as we go. Something I'm looking forward to doing. But yeah, something just a little bit different. But obviously the painting won't happen today, but I'm just going to get that all sanded down, and then I'll put that coat of clear sealer on it. Right, so this ended up being a can of worms. Anyway, I sanded it all down, all the holes are filled, and I decided just to try and give it some sort of even colour. So I've used sort of that grey colour that I've been using for the track bed. And that's just drying off now. But the other thing that I know I've found, and I'd forgotten to do it ages and ages ago, was go underneath and put another support bar underneath there. That's all good now. It's amazing really how it sort of leads you down another rabbit hole, all these things. And yeah, what I thought I was going to get done this afternoon, I've only half of got done. So, but that's enough for today. And it's a golf day tomorrow. Not sure that I can do Wednesday or any time on Wednesday, but I'll possibly be back in here Friday. So, yeah, we'll leave that all to dry off. I'll probably, Wednesday afternoon, I'll do a bit more work on the bridge, and I'll rust up the 2 girder plates with some hairspray and some weathering powder, rusty weathering powder. Sorry, I went off in my brain. There was 2 or 3 thoughts going off about different things there, and yeah, so that's where we're at, and I'll come back to you in the next segment. Which won't be that long for you, but it could be a day or 2 for me. Right, so you join me at the moment, and I'm just sort of rusting up the bridge, the arch bridge. So all I'm using, extra hold hairspray to spray the area that you want to rust up. I've got some WWS rust colour, rust powder, and honestly, I'll just randomly dab it in there and get it right in here. Depends what you want. I'm trying not to overdo it, but I just really love doing it. But yeah, so the rest of the bridge, or the other side of the bridge, has been done. Let me just show you that. turn that round. So you can see there, obviously the hairspray acts as like a glue, but it really does sort of, I don't know, it sort of make it, if you see it to the eye, it actually really does look rusty. Can you see that there? So it's something I quite enjoy doing, and a little bit carried away down here because really I didn't quite need that much, but it's good enough. It's good. I like it. This one's sort of just drying down, and yeah, it's coming along. As you can see, I've added along the top here. This, you know, these will act as like sort of some sort of steel kind of girdering for the tracks to sit on, just to add, you know, rather than having a plain deck. And hopefully that'll look good once the tracks are on there. So yeah, that's where I'm at with that, and that's what I'm doing this afternoon. Quite enjoying myself. Right, so moving on to another unfinished project was the cargo ship. It's still ongoing. I've added a few more bits and pieces, as you can see. So fiddly to make these. I ended up making them out of some rod, styrene rod, and I attempted, sorry about moving the camera about so much there, but these ladders, these stairs just here, they fit here and here, and there's one more up here somewhere. Now I tried making them through the Scale Scenes kit. Now I would imagine in 00 gauge it's okay, still very fiddly, but in N gauge I cut all the pieces out. The pieces were all cut out correct, but could I get them together? The little steps to go on the sides of the rungs of the steps was ridiculous, and I made one and it looked awful. So I had a little hunt on the internet and I got these, and there was a pack of 5 of these, I think, and I got them from Rusty Rails. N gauge steps. They're meant, I think they're more modern image line side, but I thought they looked great and they look perfect for the ship. The only problem is with these is they're a little bit too short, but I intend to make up a little something out of styrene just to sort of make it look a little bit more realistic. I'm actually at the minute just contemplating whether to cut these off of the 3D printed strands. I might cut these off in here, and I might just keep that as a base. I think that might be a good idea, to be honest, because that'll give me something to glue to, and you'll just think it's part of the deck. But yeah, so I don't know whether I can get in there to show you how they sort of kind of fit. So I'm going to have to stop the camera. I don't think I can do that one-handed without breaking it. So I'll come back to you in a second. Right, so that's that one set in there. And do you know what? I might even just leave it at that, because in N gauge you can't barely see it. I have I've sprayed these up, and I sprayed them with a grey and a little hint of a beigey spray paint that I've got over the top of them. I know that looks a huge step, but I'll tell you what, when you're standing back here and when you see it on the layout, you won't see that. And I think I might just leave it like that. Simple as that. And it saves too much fiddling, because I'll tell you what, it is a fiddly job. I just said to you, I'll just have to switch the camera off to put them in there, and I thought it'll only take me a couple of seconds. It took me quite a bit of time because I dropped it into the hold, then I had to get it out of the hold, then trying to get it in position. It was quite difficult, but I think you'll agree that looks okay, and it does, to the naked eye, it looks really good. We're quite up close here, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to glue these on, and then we'll take that from there. Right, okay, so these two bridges are back in. There's the arch bridge at the back that's all now been weathered up. It does look quite good actually. It's quite bright. So I might have to put some more weathering powder on that just to bring it down a little bit. Now, this bridge that I built myself, I'm not quite sure what's happened. As you can see here, there's a gap. Now, I think there's a little bow in the bridge, although I'm not 100% sure. Now, these did lay on the bottom of what will be the estuary bed. Now, it is pretty firm under there, and I don't think there's a bow in this. So all I'm going to do is just bring it up to height, really. So a little bit more work to do on that, just to get that in. All the work I'm doing on the bridges is necessary, mainly because obviously it helps me create the circuit. So that will be a little bit more work to do there. What I've done as well, there's another one of these over the other way there that I can't quite reach, but I've taken one of these off either end. So there was another one there which stood right up against here. Now the reason I've done that is that I'm going to put some sort of, let's say, brick support underneath here that the bridge actually rests on. But I may actually want a road to run down there. Now this will be a sculptured hillside, or, you know, from a cliff, whatever. I haven't quite worked that out yet. But the road will run down here and through there and out. So that's, you know, as usual, I'm thinking as I'm speaking, but that is a plan, and the same on this side as well. But we'll see how I do that at some point in the future. But yeah, but there may not be roads yet at all, but I think at least one of the sides will be. So it gives me a little bit more playroom, if you like, with that being back in there, because that was somewhere like that would have blocked that off. So I've decided to take that out. I can always use these elsewhere. And yeah, it's just a gap. I can't believe how big that gap is, unless it's sitting up, it's catching on the side there, but I don't think it is. So yeah, bear with me, and we'll that won't take much to sort that out anyway. So that will be where we're going with that. Now moving over, a job over here. Right, now I've put this wiring in. These were soldered to the track, obviously, but me being me, didn't make them quite long enough, and they don't reach out to the bus wire, which is here. So to the connection there. Now there's not a lot in it, but they don't reach. So I'm going to have to take that bit of track up again and work on that. One other job, actually going back over to the estuary, is here. I'm going to seal this in now with this Rust-Oleum clear sealer. So the bridges will be taken out again, and I'll just paint that on, and that will be sealed up. But it should be pretty well sealed up, because there's a couple of coats of paint on there as well. So, but that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so I've now put the sealer on, or I can't remember what it's called now. Rust-Oleum product. It's called Clear Sealer. Okay, so the sealer's gone on, and the process that I'm following, I'll need to sand this down and then do another coat, and maybe another coat after that. We'll see how that goes. I'm not sure what difference that makes, but I'll follow that process. In the meantime, we've got these two tracks down. Oh, well, it's the inner track more than anything, but just to test that junction, I've put a little bit of extra track on there, and that has now all been wired. The wires have been taken off the track and extended, and they're sitting in there now. There's some more there, but I've just found that there's another set of wires at the back there that technically are long enough, but I can't get in there to do them, not without doing myself a mischief. So that point's got to come out and they've got to be changed from there. So it's going quite well. Good little session. Been out here for a couple of hours. I haven't got any more time today. I was hoping to get a little running session in, but perhaps we'll do that when I come out here Wednesday. Golf tomorrow, and we'll take it from there. So yeah, first part of the estuary complete. Right, okay, so last segment and of this video, going to finish it up here. Now the two bridges, I'm figuring out what to do when I finally come to lay the track up here. For the meantime, it will probably just be a temporary arrangement with the track in terms of how I'm going to fix it down, just so that I can complete the circuit. But I'm just wondering whether I should make it sort of a permanent fixture or semi-permanent. But as we say, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. God, I've been dying to say that. No, I haven't. And so that's kind of how I'm going to just leave it for the minute. I've just got a little bit more work to do on the bridge that I scratch built here, just to raise it up a little bit more. Now, the estuary itself has had a coat, as you know, as you've seen in the last segment, of the clear sealer. It's going to get another coat after lunch this afternoon, so the bridges will come out again. The water, what I'm going to use for water, has arrived, and we've got a glazing medium, gloss medium, and gloss gel. Now, and I'll be using those colours as you've seen before. It's not my idea, this, but it might be quite interesting to see how I'll go about this when I get to that point. I don't know quite when I'm going to do it. Obviously, I'm going to have to kind of get the bridges in. I might have to do along the edges of these. I'm going to soften them off. So it's in my head at the moment. I want to do it soon. I've got all the stuff ready to go. But really what I need to have is the bridges in and fixed kind of either, like I say, permanently or semi-permanently. But I'm just going to do it, you know, like a temporary fix for now, just so that I can get a circuit complete. So we'll see. But I'm going to use probably the, I've got some foam and I've got bits and pieces that I can use for that. So just to make this edge, and there's going to be hillsides and goodness knows what, but I think at the moment I can just get away with doing the edge. So we'll see about that. I think I mentioned in the last episode that I've taken two legs off there, one there and one there, potentially so that I can put a road through there or some kind of access for maintenance guys and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, you know, maybe overthinking it, but at the end of the day, I'm sure there would be something there so that they could get down there. And where are we now? Oh, over here, in the you may have seen before that I had a junction, a crossover junction in there. I've taken that out. I don't need it. I don't want loads and loads of points, you know, and the crossovers will be at the main stations down there. And primarily this layout is to watch the trains run round and for me to build loads of scenery. So that's, it's taken me absolutely ages to do it, because one of the points when I first fixed it in, the wires weren't long enough to reach to the bus wire. So I had to take that point out, change the wires, put that back in, do blah, blah, blah. And then I decided that I didn't want it. So I had to take it all apart again and then cut some track to fit and so on and so forth. So we're right round to there now where the test train is. So we're getting there. And once I get cracking and get over these little things, little hurdles, lots of procrastinating thoughts about the bridges, that's the problem. Or slowing me up at the moment, or one of the problems anyway. But what we're going to do, we're just going to run the test train to finish off this video. There she goes, the Class 24. Just pulling a Mark 1 coach and a range of the Buggles Kelly wagons, the Dad's Army ones, and the Buggles Kelly coal wagon as well. But lots of bits and pieces on this episode, really, and I'm looking forward to getting cracking this afternoon a bit again. But you know, again, the estuary will take a little bit of time. Put some sealer on, another coat of sealer. Sorry about my froggy throat, I can't seem to clear it, but anyway. And as the Class 24 comes around, you'll see that box there from cpc.co.uk. I've got some hot wire cutters, so that'll be able to cut through the polystyrene that I've got, or the foam, to make some nice sort of hillside shapes. And as the Class 24 comes round, I'm going to leave you there. Thanks ever so much for all your support, as usual. And hopefully we get lots of nice comments as usual. Thanks everybody. Cheers for now.